Alright, so I have to ask, how many more movies are they going to make about creepy side characters from the Conjuring movies?
Annabelle?
Hey there guys, how are you? It's me, the Canadian Movie Buff, with a review of Annabelle Creation. Taking place in the 50s, long before she met the Warrens, Annabelle Creation takes place in the house of a former doll maker who opens his home to a local orphanage. Spooky shenanigans once they move in, and that's all I'm going to say without giving away the plot. I think everyone who saw the first Annabelle movie did a collective eye roll when they saw the trailer for this movie. And for good reason too, the first one sucked. However, this movie posed a Ouija origin of evil and gives us a solid flick that the first movie should have been. James Wan only served as producer for this movie, but his signature style of creepiness can be found all over the place. As you go through the film, you notice that something isn't quite right. The slow zooms and lack of music add to the atmosphere of an old house that hides away a powerful evil. David F. Sandberg sits in the director's chair for this movie, and if that name rings a bell, it may be because of Lights Out, both the 2013 short film and the 2016 feature film. As his second feature film and second collaboration with James Wan, David F. Sandberg is quickly shaping up to be one of the next big names in horror. There are a lot of child actors in the cast, and they give the performances of a lifetime in their roles. The biggest standout is easily Talitha Bateman as Janice. Her character suffers from polio, and since that makes her the most vulnerable, she is the main target of Annabelle's hauntings. Gotta hand it to her, she probably had to put up with a lot on set. I was also surprised at how well the dialogue was written, as nothing was forced and it moved the plot along at a steady pace. Alright, if nobody's going to say it, I will. This formula is getting repetitive, old, and stale really quickly. Every film in the Conjuring-verse has the exact same plot structure. People discover an evil spirit, it singles out the weakest one, it knocks over a bunch of stuff, nobody believes the victim, but eventually it starts messing with the other characters enough that they all believe the first victim. Here I was thinking that the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise was getting too repetitive. And although they are a staple of the franchise, there was a bit of an over-reliance on jump scares. Every 5 minutes there was something that popped out and jumped at you. Whenever there was a slow moment, they would add a bit of a jump scare just to get the adrenaline pumping. Although to be fair, as it enters the final act, there are so many jump scares coming one after the other that the jump aspect of the jump scare doesn't really scare you anymore. Don't get me wrong, the demon in this movie is scary as hell and is frightening throughout the entire movie. I don't consider myself a horror guy, but I do enjoy James Wan's work, and I like what Warner Brothers is doing with their Conjuring-verse. However, that comes with the territory. You need to freshen it up with different directors and different styles to keep it from going stale. Look at Marvel, for example. Sure, they're pumping out millions upon millions of dollars with each entry, but they're all starting to run together. Very few of them stick out as their own creations of different writers, directors, and actors. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a good example of what happens when you stick to a formula too well. The next two spin-off movies are going to be The Crooked Man and The Nun, so maybe they'll do something different with those properties. Annabelle Creation may not be as good as the Conjuring movies, but it does improve as a prequel and a standalone entry. It's not a great movie, but it's passable enough to see it at least once in theaters. Alright, that's my review of Annabelle Creation. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? What Conjuring spin-off would you like to see? Leave your answer by commenting down below. And as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you had a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!